Please stand for the pledge and turn off your cell phones. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just keep standing.
Yeah.
I would like to make the motion that the board go into executive session to discuss a vacancy on the board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carried.
Thank you, everybody, for waiting for us. That's our time clock of 5 minutes, but we appreciate that. So we're back in session. I just wanted to take a moment to welcome Amy Robb. Amy, if you could just put your hand up. Amy is here as the board reporter for the Hamburg Sun, replacing Andrew, who moved to Costa Rica as an English teacher. And so, Amy, we welcome you and thank you.
Wow.
Welcome.
Mark, I mean, if you look at the minutes, do you have to read everything verbatim of this? Because some of those items are, 250 words.
Mike thinks some of the motions are too long.
They're huge. We're going to be here extra half an hour reading all these things. I'm trying to help you out.
I can try to read fast.
I think as long as we have it in writing, you're good, because you don't read all the consensus.
We don't-
Right.
yeah.
But those are
We can
short.
say, read this, yada, 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 then.
I'll make sure I have it up.
Yada, yada, yada.
Okay?
What is it, Seinfeld?
So the conversation that's going on up here, just for those of you who couldn't hear, is, Mike, are you reading or is Jen?
I'm going to try.
Jen is going to read, but Mike is asking the question if legally we have to read every single word that's on a motion that we are reading. And the district clerk has said, not as long as it's written and you can see it. So I just have to stay in the right place. Okay?
Where do I start? 2?
No, would you start at the top?
Number 2.
Okay.
For us to draw up.
Okay, so request to withdraw specific items from consensus items. And then I go to number 3.
And then you say there are none.
There are none. Okay, so routine actions, approval of consensus items, recommended motion that the following consensus items be approved as listed in the administrative memorandum A through N.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstention, motion carried.
I move down to new business.
You read
Nope.
2 minutes.
Oh,
In the box.
approximate position time that the board is designated to receive statements from individuals and groups. The board will review all statements, then respond appropriately at a future meeting. All persons in attendance are required to sign the attendance sheet and designate their representation status, for example, parent, teacher, bus driver, chamber of commerce, etc. There is a 2-minute time limit. This time the floor is open.
Is anybody here for the 2-minute?
No one
Okay.
wants to talk?
Jen, you're doing a great job.
Ow, I'm sweating bullets.
Jen's never read before, so.
Okay, item number 4, new business, resignations, recommended motions. Number 1, accept the, do I have to read all of these words?
Yes.
Okay. The recommended motion that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the resignation of elementary teacher Nicole Lauer be accepted effective January 10th, 2016. The Board of Education and Administration wish to thank Mrs. Lauer for her 10 and a half years of service to the district.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion
I'd
carried.
like to congratulate Nicole. She's not here. Nicole moved on to be a staff developer at BOCES.
Oh, nice.
Good for her.
Recommended motion that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the resignation for the purpose of retirement of music teacher Mark Mona be accepted effective July 1st, 2016. The Board of Education and Administration wish to thank Mr. Vona for his 24 years of service to the district.
Second.
Discussion?
Just he will be incredibly missed and big shoes to
I
fill.
was going to say it.
Where's he going? Is he going?
Retired.
He's retiring,
Retiring.
Oh, wow.
but he's still, I'm sure he'll still stay in the music industry. Mary Ellen, do you know? Is he going to keep doing what he does?
He's involved in all kinds of
Yeah.
musical endeavors.
Yeah.
I
He
can
won't
still
be bored.
remember-
He's never going to be bored.
No.
I remember the song we would sing in there, and I'm not going to sing it because
Oh, come on, come on.
Come on.
What
Oh,
song?
please, can you give us a
Still-
demonstration?
Can you just tell us part of it? Come
I
on.
won't sing it, but the Go My Son, Go and Climb the Ladder one, that's about as far as I'll go.
That's awesome.
All right.
So you had him as a teacher?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion carried.
Recommended motion that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the resignation for the purpose of retirement of elementary teacher Ellen Kindly be accepted effective July 1st, 2016. The Board of Education and Administration wish to thank Mrs. Kindly for her 41 years of service to the district. Wow.
Second.
Discussion?
Mary Ellen is here. Does it look good or scary up in print?
Oh, that number? Yeah. How did that happen?
How did that happen?
Dedication. That's how it is.
It's okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion carries.
Congratulations on your decision, Ellen.
Recommended motion that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the resignation for the purpose of retirement of elementary AIS reading teacher Mary Ann Mandiak be accepted effective July 1st, 2016. The Board of Education and Administration wish to thank Mrs. Mandiak for her 15 years of service to the district.
Second.
Discussion?
Mary Ann, Mrs. Mandiak is here, and I keep calling Ellen Mary Ellen because she's sitting right next to you, okay? Your number doesn't look quite as scary, but together the two of you are a formidable group, so, okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carried.
Congratulations.
Okay, Section B for appointments. All appointments will not be effective, and service to the district pursuant thereto shall not begin until there has been compliance with statutory and regulatory provisions for fingerprinting, certification, and clearance for employment. Recommended motion. Holy cow.
Take a breath.
Can we just abridge this one?
Yeah.
I'll try to go fast. That upon the recommendation of the superintendent, Lindsay,
How do you say your last name?
How do you say that last name?
Kurt?
Kurt? Okay, thank you. Lindsay Kurt, who is professionally certified in childhood education, grades 1 through 6, literacy B through 6, literacy 5 through 12, and English language arts 7 through 12, is hereby appointed to a probationary position in the elementary tenure area for a probationary period commencing on January 21st, 2016, or as soon as possible and ending January 20th, 2020, unless extended in accordance with the law. This expiration date is tentative and conditional only, except to the extent required by the applicable provisions of Section 3012 of the Education Law. In order to be granted tenure, the teacher must receive composite or overall annual professional performance review ratings pursuant to Section 3012D of the Educational Law of either effective or highly effective in at least 3 of the 4 preceding years, and if the teacher receives an ineffective composite or overall rating in the final year of the probationary period, the teacher shall not be eligible for tenure at that time. Salary is based upon ETA contract, master's, step 3.
Second.
Discussion?
Jeez, Lindsay is here. Can you stand so everybody can see who you are?
It's so long, we're going to have her retirement. But, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carried.
Congratulations.
Recommended motion that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, Ashley Wakely, who is...
How do you say your last name, Ashley? Wakely.
Yeah.
Good for you. How do you know that?
I have good sound stretching skills. Who is professionally certified in literacy B through 6, childhood education B through 2, and 1 through 6, English language arts 7 through 12, and as a school district leader, and initially certified as a school building leader, is hereby appointed to a probationary position in the elementary tenure area for a probationary period commencing on August 1st, 2016, and ending on July 31st, 2019, unless extended in accordance with the law. This expiration date is tentative and conditional only, except to the extent required by the applicable, that word keeps tripping me up, provisions of Section 3012 of Education Law. In order to be granted tenure, the teacher must receive composite or overall annual professional performance review ratings pursuant to Section 3012D of the Education Law of either effective or highly effective in at least 3 of the 4 preceding years, and if the teacher receives an ineffective composite or overall rating in the final year of the probationary period, the teacher shall not be eligible for tenure at that time. Salary is based upon ETA contract masters plus 30, step 3.
Second.
Discussion?
Question, can we actually put that verbiage up at the top under?
I was just thinking the same
Read
thing.
The way we normally read, does that encompass everything for?
That's a new wording for new teachers under the new APPR.
We can find out of how much we can abridge
It would
it.
save, if we put it underneath the item B where it says appointments.
All those kinds of
We'll find out, Mike.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carried.
So Ashley is here. Congratulations. You stand up so people can see who you are. Welcome.
Approve standard workday and reporting resolution for appointed officials. The recommended motion that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the standard workday and reporting resolution for the treasurer be approved as presented.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carried.
Letter D, appointment of Hodgson Russ LLP as bond counsel to Eden Central School District. Recommended motion that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education appoint the firm of Hodgson Russ LLP of Buffalo, New York, Jeffrey W. Stone Esquire and John A. Alessi Esquire, responsible attorneys, as bond counsel to the Eden Central School District, including without limitation for purposes of assisting the Eden Central School District with the planning, authorization, initial rollout, and initial and continued financing of the district's approved December 15th, 2015 two-part capital improvement project under the terms of that certain letter from Jeffrey W. Stone to Thomas Murphy, Director of Finance of the Eden Central School District, as approved by the superintendent and as presented to the Board of Education.
Second.
Discussion?
I would ask Tom briefly, because you get like 30 seconds from Paul Shepard tonight.
This doesn't count as my own time, Paul.
Yes.
Okay, to just explain why we need a bond counsel right now. Okay.
Because as we're starting to look at the structure and timing of the capital project, right from the onset, whether it's 1 phase, 2 phase, in terms of what's going to be put into SED, and knowing the finances and how it's going to affect the district, we look towards bond counsel to say, here is the best way to structure the deal for the district. And also in terms of going out for bands and the actual bonding, you need to actually have the attorney look at all that information for you as well.
Okay, thank
Is this a
you.
fixed price or a, basically T&M?
Basically, T&M.
That's all that they are being hired for is bond counsel. That's
Right.
it. And your board attorneys don't do bond counsel, which was a surprise to us.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Approve bond resolution for financing of work under Proposition 1, capital project approved December 15th, 2015. Recommended motion that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education approve a bond resolution dated January 20th, 2016 of the Board of Education of Eden Central School District, Erie County, New York, the quote district, authorizing the district to undertake the first component of an approved two-part capital improvement project consisting of renovation, reconstruction, replacement, and upgrade work at various district buildings and facilities and the sites thereof at an estimated maximum cost of $12,250,000 to expend or apply towards such project up to $6 million of funds on hand or expected to be on hand in the district's Capital Reserve Fund 2014, and to issue serial bonds of the district in an aggregate principal amount? Did I say that right, Tom?
Yeah.
Aggregate.
Okay, not to exceed $12,250,000 less the amount expended from the capital reserve to finance the estimated maximum cost of such project, and delegating the power to issue bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the sale of such bonds to the president of the Board of Education of the district.
Second.
Discussion?
One of the things that Jeff actually took a look at was the wording for this and to get it on right away. So if we did need to borrow money, which we don't need to yet, we're prepared. You don't want to find yourself with bills and not have a way to pay for it and get behind the eight ball. So we are prepared at this point.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried.
Approve bond resolution for financing of work under Proposition 2, capital improvement project approved December 15, 2015. Recommended motion that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education approve a bond resolution dated January 20th, 2016 of the Board of Education of the Eaton Central School District, Erie County, New York, quote, the district, authorizing the district to undertake the second component of an approved two-part capital improvement project consisting of renovation and upgrading of the district's music, art, and athletic facilities, along with auditorium and cafetorium improvements, all in an estimated maximum cost of $9,900,000 to expend or apply towards such project component up to $2 million of funds on hand or expected to be on hand in the district's Capital Reserve Fund 2014, and to issue serial bonds of the district in an, what's that word again? Aggregate principal amount not to exceed $9,900,000 less the amount expended from the capital reserve towards such project component to finance the estimated maximum cost of such project component, and delegating the power to issue bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the sale of such bonds to the president of the Board of Education of the district.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Okay.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carried.
Under G, recommended motion that the Board of Education authorizes Superintendent Mrs. Sandra Anzalone to sign the District Young and Wright Architectural Lump Sum Contract for architectural services in the amount of $1,332,563. The contract shall have legal review prior to this action.
Second.
Discussion?
So this contract has been reviewed by our attorneys, and it is ready for you to make a motion, to decide what you want to do on a motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carried.
Letter H.
Boy, you gave Jen a hard one.
Authorize superintendent to sign contracts for capital project. Recommended motion, whereas the Eaton Central School District has been authorized by a community referendum dated December 15, 2015, and whereas the Board of Education further requests the district administration to develop, design, submit to New York State Department of Education, plan the delivery, and start the bid contracting process of the capital construction project known as Eaton Central School District 2020, the Board of Education, after review of bid results and recommendation for award from Campus CMG, authorizes the superintendent, Mrs. Sandra Anzalone, to sign contracts on behalf of the district.
Second.
Discussion?
So basically, in summary, what this allows is, if there are contracts for anything on a bid, is for me to sign it and bring it to you in discussion, so that we're not waiting for the next board meeting for the board to make a decision and slow the process down.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carried.
Authorize superintendent to sign change orders to contracts for capital project. Recommended motion, the Board of Education authorizes the superintendent, Mrs. Sandra Anzalone, to sign change orders to the contracts on behalf of the district in an amount not to exceed $35,000, consistent with New York State General Municipal Law.
Second.
Discussion?
Same idea. It would allow me to put a signature to something that is a change. Perhaps you take a wall down and find asbestos, rather than slowing down the process and waiting for the next board meeting.
And these two are broken out into, because $35,000 is a threshold. So the next one even says that with the polling, as a board, she can still move forward with the polling part just because of the dollar amount.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried.
Authorize the superintendent to poll board regarding change orders over $35,000. Recommended motion, the Board of Education authorizes the superintendent, Mrs. Sandra Anzalone, to poll the board in case where a change order may exceed $35,000. The said change order will be addressed at the next regularly scheduled Board of Ed meeting.
Second.
Discussion?
We've done some of this on an informal basis now, where I'll call each of you just to get your thoughts on it, but there won't be a formal poll. This way, I can tell the architects that they can move forward knowing what your official poll is, and then at the board meeting, we'll approve it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carried.
Approve athletic trainer contract. Recommended motion that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the athletic trainer contract with UBMD Orthopedics and Sports Medicine be approved for the 2015-16 school year.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion carried.
Approve unanimous joint agreement for BOCES capital project. Recommended motion that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the Eden Central School District, quote, "the school district is hereby authorized to enter into a unanimous joint agreement in substantially the form attached hereto as Exhibit A and made a part hereof by and among the Board of Cooperative Educational Services, Second Supervisory District, Erie, Chautauqua, and Cattaraugus Counties, quote, the BOCES, and the 27 component school districts of BOCES, the quote, component school districts for the construction of improvements to various BOCES school facilities, quote, the project. Said agreement, in addition to providing for all other matters deemed necessary and proper, sets forth the cost of such construction of improvements to such facilities and costs incidental thereto, and provides for an allocation and apportionment of said costs among the component school districts on such equitable basis as the parties thereto shall determine and agree, and further sets the proportion of the total cost to be provided by each component school district in accordance with such allocation and appointment.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carried.
Letter M, approve extension of superintendent's contract. Recommended motion that the Board of Education approve the extension of the superintendent's contract through January 20th, 2021.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Letter N, approve accessing of library books. Recommended motion that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the library books from the Eden Elementary School be accessed due to being dated or damaged beyond repair as noted on the spreadsheet.
Second.
Discussion?
What are they going to do with the excess?
Kelly, do you know what they're going to do with the excess library books?
Burn 'em.
We always have somebody come and look at them. They're old.
They're really old.
Can they
So
be
they might just
recycled?
be discarded.
It's really irrelevant information. That's
It's not even right, like the old encyclopedias. You want to take a look at them, Paul?
No. I'm just wondering, absolutely not, no.
All in
Thank you.
favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carried.
Letter O, approve bus driver hour changes. Recommended motion that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, bus driver hours for the 2015-16 school year be approved as presented.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carried.
Approve hour changes. Recommended motion that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, hours for bus driver Julianne Blencow be increased from 4 to 4.5 hours per day effective January 4th, 2016.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carried.
Approve appropriations increase. Recommended motion that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the 2015-16 appropriations be increased by $1,960.34 to $27,064,116.52 to account for increased revenues.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carried.
That brings us to information and proposals, our business report.
2 minutes.
That's more than Paul gave him, so
It was.
that's good.
Okay, the audit report, I just wanted to let the board know, the audit committee did meet tonight with our internal auditors. They're the ones that we hire to look for any potential weaknesses. They did actually look in our department for the accounts payable department, and they do have some recommendations. We will get that out to the board, and either at the next meeting or the meeting thereafter for you guys to review as well. And I don't know if there's anything from the audit committee that they wanted to say at this point. It's up to you guys.
No.
Okay?
When,
Yeah.
when will that information get out to the rest of them?
Once I get it from the internal auditor, so she's got to email me the PDFs. As soon as I get them, I'll get that out to the board. Okay? And then second and final is just talking in terms of the BOCES capital project, which you guys just voted on for the unanimous consent. Should they get full unanimous consent, you will see at a future board meeting, whether it's the next one or the one thereafter, about allowing us to bond to pay for it if we need to go down that road. So do expect that would be coming at some point. Is that for me?
Wow.
Wow.
Preppy.
Look at Paul.
Impressive.
Move on
Nice.
before he switches.
Move on. So NISBA put out a request that I believe the Barbara's District Clerk sent to the entire board about the Board of Education having an advocacy liaison. I know that we have subcommittees and that Jen had been an advocacy liaison in that subcommittee. So I guess the question that I have, is there anybody else that's interested in the board of being an advocacy liaison for NISBA? Or are you all deferring to Jen since you're initiating her tonight anyways?
What does that exactly entail?
Do you know, Barb?
Smart question to ask.
I usually don't, but I would think that it has a lot to do with the legislative work you've already been and sharing, going back and forth with New York State school boards.
You'll have a lot of fun. I think she.
Well, that kind of stuff interests me, but I'm just wondering from a time standpoint, if,
Probably
like,
not much.
okay.
No, I can't.
Well,
see
somebody
it.
told me the board wouldn't be a lot of time either.
That was me.
Before this, Paul, were you the advocacy person for this?
No, I was.
He's a delegate.
Oh, okay.
No, I was the,
He was a legislative liaison.
Right, okay. My fault.
You could do some research on it. We don't have
Yeah,
to make
no,
a
I mean,
decision tonight.
well, if we need one, I mean, I'll go ahead and,
They asked for one. I think you're doing it anyways.
yeah, no, I'll go for it. No.
Okay. Do you want to note that to them, Barb? So Jen, Barb will answer for you to NISBA. And then they'll really tell you what you're supposed to do after you say
And then I'll come
yes.
back and resign from that.
There you go. That's February 10th. That'll be the one. Capital project update. So we've had another lengthy meeting or two or three. We are into a multi-phase project or 3 phases so that we can turn the money around and get it back in time, and also so that we can get things into SED fast and have them turn it around. SED is somewhere between a 10 to 12 month turnaround time for any architectural plans, which is absolutely ridiculous. And so our first phase will be to correct a drain issue at the bus garage by putting an open trench in, which is a recommendation by Dave Martin. That has already gone up to the state and should hopefully be turned around within a couple of weeks so that we can take a look at this and really try to get it fixed. Phase 2 will be more of your masonry, anything that's not mechanical, electrical, or plumbing. So masonry, things that are just strictly architectural and don't require engineers. Our hope is that we can get that up to SED and turn it around within 6 to 8 weeks. And if that's the possibility, it doesn't create a whole lot of design, that they can go out for bids in spring of 2017 and really start working on that soon, if not sooner. Phase 3 will be the rest of it, which requires more of the design phase. We'll be getting groups of people together where it matters what the design looks like for different pieces of Proposition 1 and Proposition 2. Our hope is that we would be able to start some of that the summer of 17, but if SED doesn't increase their timeline, it's going to be more likely September of 2018. No, September of 2017, losing the summer of 2017. So that's where we are in the capital project right now. I will give you a brief update, or Dave Martin will at every single board meeting, so you know where we're going. Boys and Girls Club Program Liaison, with Nicole Lauer resigning and going to BOCES. It left an opening as a program liaison to Boys and Girls Club, so Kelly Grimaldi, who is an elementary school teacher, has accepted that position with Boys and Girls Club, has already started. She's also accepted the chair for the district shared decision-making committee, and we're very grateful to Kelly for doing both. She also, Jen doesn't know what she's in for, okay? January Regents Week is a decision of the principal of the junior senior high school, and due to the small number of students who are taking January Regents exams, students will be in attendance Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday all day. They won't be off just simply because it's Regents Week. This is the first time in quite a while. Friday, the recommendation that I am making is to make up for The parent-teacher conferences that were canceled last Monday would be for K-6 to have a half-a-day AM attendance and to reschedule those parent-teacher conferences for the afternoon. In addition, I was at Section 6 meeting today, and our girls volleyball team was recognized by Section 6, which is nice. And as you know, they've been to states and won numerous times, and this year was their 7th consecutive win. And then also, my bad, I didn't realize sitting in a meeting with Mike Burns that it was his birthday yesterday, so this is a belated birthday to Mike Burns.
Happy birthday.
Thank you
That's
very
all I
much.
have.
You're done?
I am.
Okay. Item 6, future dates.
Board
Oh, board report, sorry. See,
This past Friday, we
Rushing.
received a resignation letter from Colin Campbell from the Board of Education. Myself, I want to thank Colin for his leadership. I was honored to get to know him and now call him a friend since I've been on the board, and sad to see him leave. With that said, I make a motion that we accept Colin's resignation.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carried. Next Wednesday, is it?
So Wednesday, January 27th at 5 p.m., the board will hold a special board meeting for the purpose of meeting or interviewing briefly any interested candidates in filling the seat from whatever date is decided, actually from that night, Wednesday 27th through May 17th, which is the day of the election. So the person filling Colin's position holds the position until the day of the vote. Anyone who is interested in holding this position should submit a bio and a reason of why they're interested in sitting on the board. Certainly, the hope of the board would be that they would turn around and be submitting a petition to continue on the board beyond May 17th. And all 3 seats, there'll be 3 seats open this year, will be 3-year terms. One of them will carry the next 6 weeks of Collins from May 18th through June 30th.
who do interested parties, who do they submit their letter of interest or intent to?
Barb, what would you
Barb?
like? Can you give her your mic? Come on. You can do it.
They can submit them to the district clerk at our
Okay.
address.
And we'll put this up on our website just as soon as we can. Good job, Barb. So submitting to the district clerk, and it's a bio and a reason why. The discussion or the interviews on Wednesday, the 27th at 5 p.m. will be in my office, which is in this building, and they will be just a brief get-to-know, get a face and a name attached to the bio. The board intends to make a decision and an appointment that night and also do an oath.
So if you are attending, you should hand it in beforehand. It's not just show up at 5:30.
Yeah, Mike is making a point that we should put a date to it of when you want these bios, so that's a really good point. What
I mean,
would you like to
the day
do?
before,
Monday? What's the date?
The 25th.
Monday, the 25th, by the end of the day,
What's end of day?
3:30? Is that what you want? I don't want to put words in your mouth.
I'm fine with that.
I mean, we can wait later. I mean, Tuesday. I mean,
It's your decision.
Why don't we just go Tuesday, just to give people
Yeah.
time?
time.
Tuesday, the
And I can just
26th,
look,
3:30.
by
look at 'em Tuesday.
3:30?
by school closes. The district office closes at what time?
3:30, but I'm here
3:30,
later. But they can be emailed, they can be hand-delivered.
The next question I have is about this process is, say hypothetically, 6 or 7 people, want to interview or be looked at.
I would
Are we
be,
going to make them all stay here until we make a decision after we review them and then
no, that's a really good point.
let
that
them
Mike
go?
Reed makes.
Or do we?
They can always
I mean,
come
'cause
back for an oath.
Realistically, the next board
No,
meeting is
you're
the 10th
right.
of February. I would say we would notify them and swear them in at the board meeting like we normally do at a,
Or you could just appoint that night knowing they're interested. They don't have to be here when you do it.
oh, okay, all right.
And
'Cause
Barb can
when you
call
said
them in
swear
to do an
I-
oath even before February 10th. That's a good point for them not to sit here. What do you want to do?
We can just come back and do the oath in the office.
Okay. You did that, right, Chad?
I did that, right?
Was Barb nice? It was okay?
It was fun.
Okay. Okay. Good questions. Anything else, Mike?
any other? can move on now?
You can-
Okay.
I had a couple of questions in regards to, it was a interesting week, to say the least, with the weather. And
Last week.
Yeah, and there was some concerns, full days versus half days, and, you know, sometimes it's a struggle for parents to get coverage when it's a half a day, and the cancellation of the parent-teacher conferences, and some of them were already, some of the parents had arrived when they got the phone call, which I understand the phone calls are taking.
They take about 40 minutes for a robocall to go out, but if parents are signed up for text or email, it should be coming in much quicker. That changes every time as people change their emails around, but a lot of them come back as spam.
Is there any way we can get that out to the parents that text, if they sign up for that, it'll come faster? Because, you know, some students were arriving as the robocalls were going off
Yeah.
that school was closing.
So it shouldn't have happened on Monday, which was a half a day of school for the kids, but it may have happened for the teachers in terms of the cancellation of the parent-teacher conferences. Wednesday was the day that it was really an issue. The robocalls in some cases did not get to the house prior to the students arriving home. So that is not what we want, but we're certainly going to try to make a decision to get the kids out of here so they don't have to spend the night with Mrs. Carter or Mr. Graff. What we explored our administrative meeting on Thursday was to, most of our kids, if not all of our kids have cell phones, is to ask them right away to make sure that they've reached out to their parents. They're young, they let their administrator, or they let their teachers know what's going on, so their teachers are hearing directly from them what is happening. We also don't release kids that are under grade 4, is it grade 4? Under grade 4 to a house where there is not a parent, we bring them back. And we also, and we let our parents know that should they not be able to get home for some reason, that they certainly can pick their child up at school. I am hoping that that doesn't happen again. My fear, though, is with the lake not being frozen, that every storm is going to look like this. Our problem this past week, though, was not the amount of snow. It was the snow on the road without any snow banks. And so not having any snow banks, the bus drivers had absolutely no idea where the road was in some cases.
Well,
So,
and I was going to put in a plug for our bus drivers.
yeah.
Given all the change and everything that's happened, they have done a wonderful job.
Along with
They turn it around so quickly.
our maintenance,
so
too,
I'm-
just
yep,
incredible
I'm
what they're able
highly
to turn
impressed
it
with
around.
so.
So I don't suspect we're going to have that problem anymore because we have snowbanks, which is really helpful to know where the road is. But Monday was a real surprise to all the districts, I think, that it came in so fast, and I was grateful we had a half a day. But I think that I'm hearing you say is it's the early releases that are causing a problem to the parents.
Yeah, it's just the coverage, you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
scrambling when the
Yeah.
robocall comes
Sure.
after somebody's walking up the
Sure.
driveway.
We are all eager for a snow day, okay, all of us. So I can assure you, if in doubt, you're probably going to see one the next time.
As you mentioned, that, you know, the Global Connect calls that go out to text and email, a lot are getting bounced back. I know, can we send out like reminders via the voice side of it to keep your stuff updated? So we
I can do that.
Try to minimize,
Yeah.
I know it's another call.
I need to put a call out anyways, just to notify the parent-teacher conferences for the 29th, and also just to remind the parents for Mr. Cervoni that it's a full week of classes, since it's something new. And I can certainly let the parents know on that particular announcement that at least half of their emails bounced back into my email. So
That's kind of interesting.
that would be about 800, yeah.
I guess maybe also too, you had said that you wouldn't send home a kid that's under 4th grade or whatever. I think that should be applied to all kids and make sure that at least the parents know. Because sometimes it's more risky to have a teenager home than a 4th grader home.
In a snowstorm. We can
Yeah.
certainly work
So-
on that, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can certainly work on that.
All right.
And that's a really interesting point too, Patty, because in the blizzard of 77, I was stuck in the house for 3 days, so I remember that really well. Not a problem. Let's hope for the lake to freeze, okay?
Or just for summer to come.
Or summer, I'm good.
We're good? Item 6, future dates, Budget Advisory Team meeting Wednesday, February 10th, 2016 at 5:45 in the junior, senior high school cafeteria. Regular Board of Education meeting Wednesday, February 10th, 2016 at 7 PM in the junior, senior high school cafeteria. And at this time, the recommended motion is that the Board of Education anticipates entering into executive session to discuss the employment history of a particular person and ETA contract negotiations.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries.
Thank you for coming.